Hello everyone! Welcome back to the Flow Space. It's me, Cassie. I am so happy to finally be doing this video. It's a little bit overdue, just a little bit. I have done the most transformational thing that I have done in my almost 30 years of living. I turned 30 in a couple of weeks. Happy birthday to me. I'm so excited about that too, but that's for another video. I have done the most transformational thing that I have done to date in my whole entire life, in my almost 30 years of living. And I'm here to tell you all about it. So let's get into it. Alright, if you follow me on Instagram, which if you don't, you really should be. Like, why aren't you? I don't know. If you follow me on Instagram, then you probably know that I recently got back from a 9-day women's retreat in Costa Rica called Evolve. And it was magical. I wish I had like better words to describe the experience that I had in the retreat itself, but I genuinely don't. Like, I feel like I keep saying the words magical and transformational, and those are so like fluffy, like, oh, we hear those words all the time, but I don't have other words to describe my experience. It was truly magical, truly transformational. Like, it changed my life, it changed me as a person, and I'm so incredibly grateful for it. Just some small like changes that have already been showing up for me. Like, I feel like my relationship with my husband has gotten so much better and so much deeper. I have this really deep appreciation, and I've always been so grateful for everything in my life, but like, my heart could burst like just thinking about my home or my husband or my car or my job. Like, I have this deep appreciation for everything that I have in my life and where I am, and like, I've never had it on a level that doesn't just feel like gratitude. Like, I'm not just saying I'm grateful for it, I'm like content. Like, I have so many goals and aspirations and things that I'm looking forward to. And also, right now, if you told me that this was the rest of my life, I think for the first time ever, I'd be okay with that. I would be okay with that. And like, again, just that sense of like completion. Like, I feel like a complete and whole person, and I haven't felt like that my entire life. I had this really big revelation, my favorite day of the retreat, of how I've just genuinely never felt like I belonged anywhere. And how every space that I've been in, I almost feel like I'm fighting in my own mind to fit in. And instead of being present and enjoying the people around me and whatever's going on, my head is like, do they like me? Like, am I doing the right thing? Like, am I looking awkward and silly? And like, I don't know, I so clearly received this message of I'm exactly where I belong, not only especially in that moment that it happened in, but just in life. Like, it just is a breath of fresh air. Like, I went into there with no expectations, truly no expectations for this retreat. I was a little bit down bad before I left. We'll talk about that later on in the video. And I just didn't, I don't know, I think I was feeling a little bit too low and disconnected to even set an intention or to like dream about what this could possibly be like. And if I did have an expectation, I know that it would have been exceeded like tenfold. I can't even believe. I can't even believe it. I can't believe that I did it. I can't believe that I went. I can't believe that I was able to pay for that and afford it myself. I've never ever been out of the country where I haven't had to rely on my partner to like pay for part of the trip or my plane ticket or anything like that. Like, this is my first time. Like, I planned this. Like, I bought my plane ticket. I bought my retreat spot. Like, everything was me. And I traveled alone, and like, I don't know, it was just like such a beautiful, like, from start to finish, from literally deciding that this is something that I'm going to do to the second I got back from New York, like after the retreat. Like, it was just, the whole experience is just transformational. But what is Evolve? Like, let's get into that. Let's get into what we did and like what changed me and what brought about all this like feeling of magicalness and all of that, because it's beautiful. I also have so much content from Evolve to share on here, so many videos. I'm going to do a recap, like of just visuals so that you can see it. I'm going to add some of the visuals to this video so that you can see them, but it was magical, okay? So Evolve, what is it? It's a 9-day retreat in Costa Rica, in Dominical. I think I'm pronouncing that right. I'm sorry if I'm not. But that is where the retreat is. It's at this beautiful retreat center called Casa Ora, and it was, first of all, let's just talk about Costa Rica itself, the land, like being in Costa Rica. Holy fuck. Like, I've been out of the country a couple times. We've been to a couple different places, and when I tell you, like, when usually like day 3, day 4, I'm like, all right, like, this is cool, but New York is home. I'm ready to go back to New York. Like, let's go, let's wrap it up. I'm ready to get back to my routines. Like, I genuinely do love my life. So whenever we're on vacation, I do miss like being here and like everything that I do here. But in Costa Rica, I'm gonna be so honest, I didn't really think twice about it. I really missed my husband. I really missed my animals, and that was about it. Everything else I was like not thinking about at all. It was like being in a whole other world. And we were there in the beginning of December. Like, I remember when I would look at my social media and I'd see people's stories and like it's Christmas time and everyone's celebrating the holidays, and I was like, whoa, like I feel like I'm in a completely different universe. Like, it did not feel like Christmas time. I did not, like, even seeing people's stories, I was like, wow, like that's my friend. They feel like they're in a whole nother universe. Like, we're so far apart, and you live in this, like, I keep calling it retreat land because it's just so magical. You wake up in the morning, you eat breakfast with women that started out as strangers, and literally by the end of day 1 were like your best friends. So you're all at breakfast together, lunch together, dinner together. You're just playing together all day long, while also like going through these really deep, intense ceremonies together and experiencing these really hard moments and holding space for each other. And it just becomes this environment where so much healing happens, but so much connection and so much play and fun, and there's nothing in the world like it. I don't think that there's another retreat in the world like Evolve. And so we have to give our flowers to Maddie and Bianca, our hosts. They are beautiful people inside and out. I am endlessly inspired by them. I think I've said that like a million times since I've gotten back. I truly am. They are the true embodiment of believing in yourself and like having a plan and a vision and executing it. And Bianca actually lives in Costa Rica now. She moved there and then started hosting retreats, and Maddie was one of her attendees, and then Bianca asked her to start hosting together. Maddie also runs an online coaching business, which is where Maddie and I connected. I worked really closely with her on a lot of social media stuff, and she helped me so much just to find my vision and what I want to do. And it was actually Bianca that reached out to me about going on the retreat. She had no idea that I was working with Maddie. Like, neither one of them knew that I was talking to each other. It was so funny. And I was like, I just feel like it's meant to be. And originally they had wanted me to go on they host it twice a year, once in June, once in December. And again, this was March, and I just couldn't swing it. I just started my new job, and we were set to open the physical location in June, and we didn't have a date yet. And also, like, financially, I was like, it's a lot right now. Like, they're like, all right, come to December. And I was like, okay. And I said yes. And we set up the payment plans, and I don't know. It didn't feel real. I don't know. I guess because it was so far in advance, and like, this is so outside of anything that I've ever done. Like, I've always been the kind of person that is going to do something for me. Like, I don't care about traveling alone. I've just never had the opportunity to do it. Before I moved into the house and when I was in my apartment, I would go to Manhattan all the time, take the train in, like, by myself, just walking around. I've taken myself out to eat a bunch of times. Like, I love solo adventure. Like, so this, like, going on a retreat in general is not anything new for me. I'm also a very spiritual person. I create content. Like, it just kind of fit. And also, like, I don't know, like, just making a big decision like that, it really shook me financially. Like, I just didn't think that I'd ever be able to do something like that for myself. I was nervous to like tell my husband that I wanted to do this. Not that he would be anything but supportive. In fact, he really tried so hard to make it possible for me to go on the June retreat, but we couldn't do it. And truly everything for a reason, because every single person that was there on this retreat that I went to was supposed to be there. Like, again, we fell in love with each other after the first day. And I am being so honest, like, no fluff when I say, like, I would stand 10 toes down for any one of those women. There were 17 of us there, 14 attendees, including me, and then 3 hosts. Well, our 2 hosts and then their assistant. So 17 women that were there total, and I love the fuck out of all of them. Like, I really, really do. I wasn't expecting that. I thought that would be the hardest part of the retreat for me, which is something that I learned on the retreat. And I had this like big realization after a couple of days ago, actually. But I've always been a more quiet and reserved person, and I really thought that making connections would be the hardest part, and that I was going to be so in my head about if I'm being awkward, do they really like me? And my one goal, my one word that I had for going into this retreat, because again, I was down bad before the retreat. October was a great month for me, like amazing month, like my most successful business month, like I did my first in-person workshop, sold it out. That was amazing. I had more one-to-one clients than I'd ever had. Like, things were feeling really great. And then November came and I freaking crashed out because I don't know, sometimes when everything's going right, that's when you realize, like, maybe this isn't what I want. And I do that so often, and it's actually really frustrating. It's really frustrating. And that's what I was feeling in November, frustrated, because I work really hard at the things that I do, especially when it comes to the flow space and my business. And I've been doing this since the beginning of 2024, like on a serious level, but a little bit before that. And so many times my vision has changed. And when your vision changes with something like this and you're a one-woman team, like it's a lot. It's a lot. Every rebrand is a lot of energy and a lot of work. And I'm also not like, I don't know, I'm not a website creator. So like all of these things that I've had to learn how to do on my own, like even recording this video, like I'm not a video producer. Like I don't freaking know how to do this, I'm not an editor. So I've had to teach myself, and it's quite a learning curve, to be honest. And again, every time I switch direction, it's like now I have to start all over again and learn all of these new things, and also take my audience on a new journey. Like, what if I lose people because I said I was doing this, but actually I want to do this? Like, it's frustrating. And that's what I was feeling. Like, what even is the point? Like, is this even something I want to do at all? Because I keep changing my mind, nothing's sticking. I'm not gaining the followers that I want to gain. Like, I don't even know like what I want to do in the future. Do I just want to have a physical studio and call that it? Like, do I just leave the social media stuff where it is? Like, I'm killing myself to make these online choreos because I had a Patreon for a little bit and hardly making any money off of it. What's going on? What's going on here? And that's how I was feeling in November. And so when the retreat came around, beginning of December, right before it, I was really trying hard to like elevate that mood, but I was like, I'm just gonna go where I am. I'm gonna meet myself where I am. And I prayed about it and I meditated about it, and I was like, I need to come up with at least some kind of intention going into this. That's just the kind of person that I am. And the one word that I had for myself going into this was connection.
I wanted to feel connected to myself. I wanted to feel connected to the other women that were going to be there. And I wanted to feel really connected with nature. That was a big thing. Like they kept saying, like, oh, we're in the jungle. And I've never really been in a jungle environment like that. So I was like, this is going to be really cool. So that was my word. That was my one intention, my one thing, connection. And I knew that connecting with myself while I was there was probably going to be a little bit natural for me. Like, I do this kind of stuff, I create these spaces for other people. And that was another thing I was
really feeling down bad about, like in November before I left, is like, I don't have the spaces sometimes that I create for other people for myself. And so when I'm in this mode of like constantly giving, and really September and October were that, like sound bowl offerings and workshops and one-to-one offer and like all of this stuff for other people, I was doing a lot of my Reiki massage, and like I don't have that for me here though. So I don't have anywhere that I can go and like fill my cup up in that way. I have things that I do for me, of course, but it's so different to be like, to not be the facilitator and to be receiving in full receive mode. And I was just feeling like depleted spiritually and energetically, and like just again disconnected. And so when I got to be in this retreat and like have this space that is for me to feel and for me to heal and for me to embody, like instead of having to lead, like I can just take a passive like back seat, and it felt really, really, really good. So connection to myself, I thought, was not going to be the hardest thing because, like, I don't know, I do it for other people and I was really craving it for myself. But when it came to connection with the other women, like, I genuinely thought that that was going to be hard. Um, I am somebody, again, that is a little bit more quiet, a little bit more reserved, and I didn't want to be in my head. I really said to myself, you're going to go into this with no mask on. You are going to be your authentic self. And if it doesn't work out, you're never going to see these people again. But I was paying so much money, and not even just like the investment of like financially, like I was taking off of work for 10 days. I was leaving my husband for 10 days. Like, I'm going to give this my all because I deserve it. Like, I invested so much into this. Like, I'm going to get every little thing that I can get out of it. But once I got there, like that wasn't even a conscious thought, truly. I got off the airplane day one, and my mics are like, I think they're dead. So you're probably gonna notice the audio shift in the video, so I'm just gonna speak it to you verbally. We're having technical difficulties with the mic, so I'm just gonna project my voice to you. But anyway, I got off the plane day one, and this is before we knew who our roommates were. But I get off the plane, and there was one girl that was flying in, and her plane landed, I think, like an hour or just a little more than an hour before mine did. So she waited at the airport so that she didn't have to travel to the Airbnb by herself. So night one, like day one, was just our travel day. So part of the 10-day retreat. Day one, everybody's flying in from different places at different times. They book us an Airbnb close to the airport, and that's where we all stay, and we can meet, we can make our own dinner plans, whatever you want. So Sammy ended up being my roommate. She's who was at the airport. She waited there, we connected. We're like trying to figure things out, like how to get the Uber, where the freak we're Ubering to, like all of that. And honestly, like that just felt so natural. Like it didn't feel awkward at all. Like I don't know why, or like what, if there's magic in the air in Costa Rica, or I really think like when you're going on something like that, all of you clicked the button to sign up for a reason. So I think all of us kind of either consciously or subconsciously went into this knowing like, why have a guard up? You know, like we, again, invested so much to be here. We chose to be here. Why have a guard up? So we finally Uber, we figured everything out. And again, that just felt so natural. Then we messaged in the group chat, and there were two other girls that were already there for dinner. So we met up with them, had dinner, again, conversations flowing, like everything just feels fine. And it was so beautiful. Like I loved it. It was so magic. Like that part to me was just so magical. So that was day one. And day two is when we travel from where we were staying in the Airbnb to the retreat center. So they book us a bus, and we all get on the bus together. Everyone except for three of the girls. So one of them was already in Costa Rica. She's going to meet us at the retreat center, and two had delayed flights. So they were getting in later that day. So all of us get on the bus. It ends up being like an almost 4-hour bus ride from our Airbnb to the retreat center. We stop halfway. We get like food and drinks, and like it's cool. This is fun because I sat next to Giovanna on the bus, and she just had the coolest, like literally since we did 3 Zoom calls, I was in attendance for 2 of them before the retreat, where we got to like meet each other and just like set, you know, intentions and like get the vibe. I thought Giovanna was cool from when I saw her on Zoom, so I was like, oh, this is so fun. And again, like the conversation flowed so naturally. We're on a bus, we get there finally to the retreat center, and it is beautiful, like so beautiful. Like when they said we were in the jungle, I thought, yeah, like we're in the jungle in Costa Rica, but I didn't realize that the retreat center itself is like being in the jungle. So the way that it works is that there are 2 like parts. There's Royal Sabitha and Little or Lower Sabitha. We called it Little Sab for Little Sabitha. And Royal Sabitha is like kind of the main house and where the like some of the casitas are. So in the main house is where our host stayed. That's where we ate like all of our meals, and we all like kind of hung out there throughout the day. both Sabitas have a pool area and a main house area, but like Royal Sabita is where we all stayed. And then there's, I think, 3 casitas on each property, and each casita fit 2 people. So me and Sammy were on Royal Sabita in the first little casita, which actually ended up being so convenient. She was so clutch for that because that was her idea. I probably would have picked the furthest one to be away from people. Not the vibe. She knew. First of all, it was so cool to be so close to everyone. So the way that our casita was is that you could see like the main house over here, and also like there was like a yoga shala outside, so you can kind of see that too. And then you could see all the other casitas in the pool if you looked this way. So we had like a prime spot. And then also, like, obviously, since Royal Sabita is where all of like the main things were happening in the main house, like we had the quickest walk there. Like, again, clutch. When we landed, when our bus took us to our retreat center, that's when we got our roommates. Maddie and Bianca had picked them out for us, and I'm telling you, like, I think part of the magic of the retreat in general is just how perfect like the roommate situation was. Me and Sammy were meant to be in a room together, but so were all of the other girls with their roommates, so that was amazing. And then on the first day, we get there, we have lunch laid out for us. It's beautiful, this beautiful spread. So we get our own chef. He comes in the morning and then leaves at the very end of the day. So he's there pretty much all day, and he makes us breakfast, lunch, and dinner, sometimes little snacks. It was just so cute. And we'd always have like fresh coffee and hot water for tea, like all hours. Like the coffee thing is never empty. Like there's always coffee in there, always hot water for tea. So we get there, and our chef's name is Remy. One of our first inside jokes, like the first thing. So I keep telling people this. I still like struggle with this. So when I was telling people about the retreat before I went, and people would be like, oh, like what kind of retreat? Everyone assumed it was a yoga retreat. I think because I work in a yoga studio, or maybe because yoga retreats are so like popular. I was like, no, like it's not a yoga retreat. We did yoga twice, but like it's definitely not a yoga retreat. I wouldn't call it necessarily a spiritual retreat either. Like I just didn't know what the heck to call it. If you look on their Instagram channel, you'll see like what I'm talking about. You just can't describe it. Like it just seems really freaking cool. Like I just want to go. And so I didn't realize that all of us were having that same like issue when it came to describing where we were going. So it came up on the first day while we were eating lunch that like so many of our families thought we were going to a cult because we couldn't describe what we were doing. Like a lot of us didn't really know where we were going. Like we're also just girls at the end of the day. So listen, Maddie and Bianca said show up there, I show up there. Who am I to question it? So everyone was like, are you coming home? Like, are you joining a cult? And when we told this to Maddie and Bianca, they were like, what the heck? And we made it our inside joke that like we're a cult now. So we started calling each other sister. That started literally at day 1 at lunch and lasted the entire retreat. We still call each other sister because it became unironic. Like, yeah, it was a joke at first, and then we were like, no, like we're really sisters. Like they really feel like my sisters. So our chef's name is Remy, but we started calling him Brother Remy as part of the joke. So Chef Brother Remy made us a beautiful lunch, and then our first task was to collect nature for a mandala we were going to make for our welcoming ceremony. So 2 of the girls that I didn't really know yet, because again, we had just gotten there, were going on a nature walk, and I was like, I want to go on a nature walk. So I like kind of joined them, Sarah and Alana, and again, I just love them all. So I'm going to talk about the girls. I'm like, I love them, and I feel that way truly about everybody. So me, Alana, and Sarah, we went on a little walk all the way down through Lower Savita, and we found a river. There were like homemade stairs. So this is what I'm talking about, like being in the jungle. Like we were on our retreat property, which had the 2 properties, and then also if you like just went down, like past the pools, past the casitas, there were like natural stairs that take you down this like cliff, and then there's this beautiful river and so much nature. There were monkeys and toucans and vultures and these little capybara looking things, and like just so many lizards, snakes, scorpions. Somebody did get bit. It was not an emergency. Everything was fine. She was actually totally okay. But big spiders, I'll include that video so that you can see it. A spider like the size of my hand, but there's so much nature, so much nature. It was so beautiful. And everyone was fine, everything was safe, and it was so cool. So we're collecting all of our leaves, and it became an inside joke so quickly. I found this beautiful leaf. She was like pretty much dead because she had fallen on the ground, but it was just so beautiful, and I loved her so much. And every single day, almost, some of those sisters would like find a leaf on a walk and they'd bring it to me, and that would be like my thing for the day. And that's when that started. But yeah, it was just beautiful, and that was my first like connection with Alana and Sarah, and we just had a good time. And then when we came back, we made our mandala and our welcoming ceremony. We got to like set our intentions as a group, and it was beautiful. And at the end of the night, we played this welcoming game where we sent our hosts like an embarrassing story and a funny story, and like they said the story and then we all had to guess whose story it was. So that was like a really fun way to get to know each other. And that was pretty much night one, and it was really cute. And then day two, we did a cacao ceremony. So in the morning, we all wake up. I think we had yoga that morning. That's another thing about this retreat. Every day felt so long, but then like it also felt like it was going by so fast. Like day one and day two truly felt like months long. Like it was crazy. So when I try to remember some of the things from the retreat, it's hard for me to like even remember what order they go in because so much happened. And I'm trying to explain it all, but I know I'm not even going to hit half of it. So anyway, I think we had a like yoga in the morning. I could be wrong about that, but either way, that evening was our cacao ceremony. Oh, you know what we did in the morning? We surfed. Duh. We had our surf lesson in the morning, which I was actually really looking forward to. That was one of the things we knew about before we went into the retreat that we were going to be doing. And that was hard at first. Surfing was hard. And like, I'm a very competitive person. So I was like, oh, I want to go into this and be good at it. It was not easy. But when I was struggling with it, the main instructor told me, he's like, you're moving too fast. He's like, you're trying to fight the wave. You have to be one with the wave. And he's like, you have to visualize back foot, front foot, bend. And I remember that to this day. But it was when I truly shifted like that. Let me slow down. Back foot. He was like, visualize before you get up there. And I was like, as I was prepping for the wave, I was like, right, back foot, front foot, prep. And I did it. I was able to ride a couple of good waves. I'll show you some pictures in the video, but that was so fun. But then later we had our cacao ceremony, and we wear all white, all of us, for it, and it was so beautiful. We had an indigenous woman from Costa Rica lead the ceremony, so she brought us an actual cacao. We got to try like the seeds in its raw form, like they're so sweet. And then that ceremony was actually really transformative for me. Yeah, a lot came up like during that ceremony for me. A lot about my mom, and her and I don't talk. We haven't talked since April of 2024, so it's been a little bit of time now. And I thought that I had really gotten over that, but there are some like residual like feeling, I'm sure there always will be. It's my mother at the end of the day. It's a really weird thing to talk about for me on social media still because obviously anybody could see it. And so it's like, whoa. But it is my truth. And I think it's important to talk about because there are so many people that struggle with the same things, which is also something that came up on the retreat. Actually, on the walk to the surf lesson, because we walked down to the beach, I was talking a lot about my relationship with my family, and some of the girls were able to connect with me on that level. So yeah, a lot about my mom came up, a little bit about my relationship, and not to give away like too much detail, but Anthony and I had went through something really rough at the end of last year, around last Christmas time, and I had chosen to get over it, I think, a little too quickly. And when December had come back around, December of 2025, I think it really triggered me, and it made me realize that I didn't give myself the time to process it the way that I needed to. And which also meant that I didn't have the conversations that I needed to with Anthony, my husband, in order for us both to heal and grow from it. And I was feeling a lot of anger around that, really honestly, since the summertime. It's been coming up for me, and I've been feeling like this tension and this distance in my marriage because of it. And it came up in the summer. We had a conversation again. I chose to work through it, and I was still struggling with it. And I feel like during the cacao ceremony is when I got the answers that I needed to like fully let it go and like come to terms with what happened. And honestly, at that point in the cacao ceremony, I wasn't really sure with what I was going to do moving forward, but I knew like both of these situations between my mom and my husband, like I need to do the work within me to be able to let them go. So that was the cacao ceremony. Super beautiful. I had a really deep heart to heart with Maddie after, we both crying about our mothers and also about like what it means for my future. Like I really struggle sometimes with if I'm gonna have children because of the relationship that I have. I'm really scared of becoming the mother that my mom is to me right now to my future children, because I don't think I could live with that. So we had a conversation about that, and that was really beautiful. And so that was the cacao day. And then day 3 was we did, we did San Pedro on day 3, which is a plant medicine. And honestly, I didn't know that that was a plant medicine. I thought we were going somewhere. So I thought we were going to like a town or something, but it was a plant medicine. And I've only done mushrooms before, so I didn't really know like what to expect or what to compare it to. It was such a beautiful trip. It made me feel just so connected to the present moment. Like anything that was happening in the present moment, I felt so deeply. Mushrooms, I feel like, caused me to be very like introspective, and then you ask so many questions and you wonder about the universe and what your purpose is. And this wasn't like that. It was like, all right, like my friends are laughing over here. I'm gonna laugh and have a really good time and feel it on just this deep soul level. And that's what I felt on San Pedro Day. I made That was probably my closest day with Annie and Kat, 2 of my favorite connections. I'm gonna keep saying that, like I said over and over again, they're all gonna be my favorite connections. But they took on such a little sister role for me. They're both a little bit younger and so freaking cute, and I love them so much. And like we just had so many moments. I had so many moments with Kat and Annie. Like I love them so much. But San Pedro Day, yeah, there were a lot of like moments from that day that like really solidified just like how close we are. So that was really beautiful. And then after we were just vibing, it was a good day. Loved a San Pedro Day. And then after San Pedro Day, we had our ecstatic dance night. So what did we do? Every morning we did something. So if I'm like telling you like San Pedro Day, I think that morning is the morning that we actually did yoga, since we did the surf lesson the day before. I think after San Pedro Day in the morning, we had a breathwork ceremony, which was so nice. I actually need to reach out to that woman. She gave me her information to work with her further, and I actually would love to do a virtual session with her. But that was really cool. And then we had our ecstatic dance ceremony. So they also brought in these women, like a pop-up clothing shop almost, and they like came to our retreat center and we got to buy things from them. So that was so cool. I got 2 pairs of pants. They were like $6 each, crazy cheap. And one of them I actually ended up wearing for a ecstatic dance. So they were like these sheer blue. Actually, I think I have them in here. You don't need to see them. They were these sheer blue, I'm gonna show you pictures, like ruffles on the side. And our theme for ecstatic dance was Sirens of the Sea. So it was just so perfect. And then I brought this like white shirt that had like the jellyfish thing. It was just perfect. And I had never been to a static dance before. Me, the queen of flow, has never done a static dance. Loved it. Loved it. I was so in my element. It also started pouring. Like rain was like dripping, draining down the sides of the yoga shala. So it's outside, but there's a roof. And you could just see the rain. And we had a live DJ, and he was DJing and then playing live instruments on top of the freaking music, which is amazing. And then ecstatic dance, if you've never done it, you're just supposed to move your body however it feels called. Like you're almost encouraged to be as weird and like expressive as possible. You're not allowed to touch anybody else. You're not allowed to talk. And if you want to like kind of vibe with somebody, like you kind of like dance near them. And if they want to dance with you, like you just express through your movements. And if not, like you just kind of like turn away. But it's just so cool because like obviously in that sense it was ceremonial and it was so healing, but I'm thinking about like because I've heard of it here in New York, I've just never done it. Like it's just a cool way to go out, because I miss like going out and partying to dance. Like I don't want to drink. I don't want people touching me. I don't want to like deal with creepy men. Like I'm so over that part of my life. But ecstatic dance is like the fun of a dance party, and like going out and partying without like having to deal with like the physical touch and putting up boundaries. Like they're already set for you. I loved it. Loved it. I also forgot to mention that at the end of San Pedro Day, we had a music ceremony, and Brother Remy, our chef, and two other people from, native to Costa Rica were playing these traditional instruments, and we got to move. They gave us like the instruments with them. That was beautiful. I'm going to show you a video of that too, because I loved that, and I felt like so free and like feminine and in my body, and like loved it. And so the next day was a static dance, so I got to do that again, and that was so fun. I'll share the videos from that as well. But yeah, that was our ecstatic dance day. And then that same night is when Brother Troy, who is our sound therapist, he did a sound bowl night with us. He came to the retreat center that night, so he ended up staying with us until the very end. This is important because him, Annie, and I had a long conversation the night that he got in, just the three of us, and we were talking about so many different things, and he's just this magical being. Like he truly is magic. That I've never met somebody like that before. And he was telling us about this journey that he had with plant medicine, and how the visualization that came through was him trying to do the same thing over and over and over again, and how like he needs to stop the cycle. That was the message of that journey. And like in that moment, it forced me to realize like all of the things that I'm doing that I need to stop. Like I need to stop doing. And that is when like there was this piece of me that realized like the accountability that I needed to take to make the change in my life. A lot came through at that point about my relationship, and how yeah, like I can continue to put my focus on the situation that happened, or I can stop playing the victim and like start fixing it, you know? Like it was just this like gentle but also harsh realization of like I'm not perfect and I have been playing the victim in certain ways, and if I want change, then I need to facilitate that for myself, point blank period. And definitely came up in the lens of my relationship. We were talking to him so late, like it was very late in the night, and I went to bed and like laid down, and like all of this stuff came through of like this is what I need to stop and this is what I need to start, and like it was crazy. So that was the ecstatic dance day. And then the next day was our party day. So it was Selva. We had our twerk shop led by Troy in the morning. So he is a movement therapist, sound therapist. He does twerk shops, and he did one for us. It was really hard. Again, Queen of Flow, sweating, like drenched in sweat after that. And then we went to Selva. So Selva is a resort in Costa Rica, and it was this DJ's birthday, so it was a big party. There was a bunch of live DJs there. Maddie actually DJs, one of our hosts, so she was DJing that night. We got dinner there. We were there all day. So we left on the bus to go there, I think at like 2. We went to the store, got some snacks, like pre-gamed a little bit, and then went straight there. And we were there until past 2 a.m. So we were dancing. There was a pole there. There was a hoop. I was like, holy, like I'm meant to be here. So I was on the pole. We were drinking. We were dancing. We were having such a good time. We got to see Maddie DJ. We became known as the Scarf Girls because Maddie and Bianca got us pashminas, like the scarves to all have. They're all the same. And it was so funny because I thought about bringing mine. It's actually the same one that they got us, but in a lighter blue, like a teal color. And I thought about bringing mine. I was like, I'm not gonna need it. And then some of the girls brought their pashes. So this is a big rave community. I love EDM, but they go to the festivals and all of that. So they brought theirs, and I was like, oh, I should have brought mine. And then literally as I was thinking that, they like hand us these pashes, and I was like, ah. So a bunch of us had brought our pashes that night, so we became known as the Scarf Girls. It was just so fun. Like that was just such a fun day. I don't even know how to describe it. It was one of my favorite days, and I can't, like, there's nothing in particular that happened. It was just so fun. We got dressed to the nines. I have like a million pictures on my phone from Salva alone because we had like so many photo shoots. There was this net where you could sit and then it overlooks the mountains and you can just see out. It was so freaking beautiful. Loved it. Again, there until 2 a.m. Got home, it was around 3. I didn't even go to bed until almost 6 a.m. just because I couldn't sleep at that point. And then I was like, all right. So I was writing in my journal and I was falling asleep as I was writing. I was writing outside. And then I went inside. Instead of going to my casita, I went to the main house and I fell asleep like on the couch. But because it was early, Brother Remy was coming in to start cooking. So Troy like woke me up and made me a little bed upstairs out of the couches. He like pushed them together. And then I slept there. And when I woke up, everyone was eating breakfast and I came downstairs and it was so cute. And then it was our mushroom day. So we all did mushrooms, nothing crazy, just very little amounts. And it was so beautiful. I thought that after Salva, like it was going to be a little bit much for me because I was going to be so tired. It was beautiful. It was beautiful. Like mushroom day was my favorite day, truly. It felt like so slow and like there was no agenda that day. Like we were all just kind of vibing at the retreat center, all on our own journeys and kind of like popping in and out. I talked to Maddie. I like have this like strong vision of Maddie from that day because she has pink hair at the tips right now, and she was wearing this all pink outfit, and the lighting of the room that we were in was like a soft, she just looked like an angel. It was like this whole pink aura around her. So we were talking, and the whole time while we were coming up, I was like, I'm gonna shower while I'm on mushrooms. And I loved the shower in Costa Rica, by the way. Like, I've never showered so much in my life. It's so humid there that like you get so sweaty. It was just easier to shower and like eat dinner and then shower and whatever. So I was like, I'm gonna shower. And I showered and it was beautiful and, just feeling the water. I like did some meditations in the shower. I cut old energy and like old relationships with people. It's actually crazy because I cut a specific cord and that same person texted me the next day and basically was like, and I was like, actually, peace to you because I cut you off energetically first. Little do you know. But that was like the magic of the retreat. And that's another thing that kept coming up for me is that these like small little crazy, they're not even coincidences, like just pure moments of magic kept happening. And I was like, oh, if that can happen to my sister, it can happen to me. And I have like such a hard time sometimes believing in the magic of things. Like, I wholeheartedly believe in miracles and manifestations coming true for other people. But when it comes to me, like, I genuinely have a hard time believing that I can obtain that same level of like magic, which is also why I struggle to sometimes bring my manifestations to life. I mean, I do, but not as quickly as I would like because it takes a lot of nervous system integration for me to believe that I'm worthy of it or I can obtain it. Something that I'm really working on ever since the retreat, I'll be honest with you. But yeah, being able to just like see the miracles every day that were happening for other people and then have moments of magic like that for me, like that's not a coincidence. I cut you off energetically and you felt it and now you want to like have the last say, and that's fine because I don't need to explain myself. Like we're done. Let it be done. So that was really cool. What else? And then the end of mushroom day was like the most magical part of the freaking retreat. So Troy, our sound therapist, we did a sound journey. And so first we played a sound game. I'm going to be honest with you, I was not feeling the sound game. I think it was also because I was on mushrooms. Like, I don't want to do this right now. But then the sound game was so fun. So of course I did it and I had a good time. But then after the sound game, we laid down for his sound bowl journey. And again, just Troy being the magical being that he is, he can sing, he can make any animal noise almost with his, like, so when he was doing not just the sound bowls, he was singing to us, he was making, at one point it felt like I was in Africa, like the animal noises he was making, it was beautiful. And we're also all in a cuddle puddle. We went to Little Sad for this one, which is like a smaller house. So we were all in a cuddle puddle and like we all have to be touching because we're in this cuddle puddle. The lights were off and one of the girls brought a projector like with the stars. So that was on. So just set the tone. It's dark in there. Magical projector lights. We're all like on the floor cuddling. I have Maddie next to me, like on this side. I'm cuddled up with her. And I have Alana with me on this side and she has my arm and like she's just holding it literally like this. I cried the entire time, silently sobbed the entire time, and I'm gonna cry just thinking about it. I just have never like experienced something so beautiful. Truly, like it was just beautiful. And I talked about in the beginning, like how I create these spaces and I so badly like want somewhere to like hold that space for me. And that's just what I felt in that moment. First I was sad because I was like, what if I never see them again? Like that's like this was like the halfway point in the trip, like where it was getting closer to the end. So I was like, oh my God. But then like I replaced that with like how lucky to feel so much love for these women and men in this room, because it was Brother Troy. Brother Troy was leading us, and we also had Ale there who did our tattoos, and like how beautiful to like meet these people just a couple of days ago and to feel such a strong connection to them that I'm genuinely sad to see them go, like to leave them. I never had that happen before so quickly. And then the other thing was, I shared this before in the video, like I really struggle to feel like I belong anywhere. And that's always been a thing for me. My entire family is white. I'm not. I'm mixed and half black, half white. I don't know, like the black side of my family, I don't know my biological father. So physically, like from such a young age, feeling that difference, but also like who I am as a person. My step family and my household, like they're also outgoing and like loud and boisterous, and like I'm not that. I'm not that. And every space that I've been in, I always feel like I'm so sensitive and I'm so quiet and I'm so that like I feel like everyone thinks I'm so weird. Like that's like what I've internalized my whole life. And just laying there for the sound bowl journey and like feeling like I have never ever belonged anywhere like I do right here. And like just the love that was in that room, like I'm not even kidding you when I'm saying like, you could feel the love in that room. And it was so beautiful, and I would do anything to like bottle it up and feel it again, and to have Maddie here and Alana here and like Bianca over there and like hugging everyone. And I knew that it was going to be a moment that I would keep with me for the rest of my life. And like to even just recall it and talk about it makes me so emotional, because it was that moment for me that I'm like, I get to decide where I belong, and I get to create spaces and meet people that make me feel that belonging. And I shared after, like, that's what came up for me. And like Troy and I had this deep conversation, and we got to like just connect and like have this deep understanding. Like, I don't have that always here. And I think that was something that was so special about Costa Rica. Like, I don't always have the spaces that I create, but I also don't always have the connections of people that really get me on a deep, deep level, like this deep level of understanding. And to have that again so instantly with people that didn't owe me that at all, like it was just, I've just never had that. And so that was my favorite part of the retreat. And then we go outside again. I'll show you the picture. We go outside, and the stars in real life were fucking crazy. And we haven't seen that the whole time we were in Costa Rica, because there was a lot of clouds out. It didn't rain at all, but like at all, which was crazy. But there, like most nights, like you couldn't see the stars because of the overcast. And like we got out there, and the stars were fucking insane. And again, I cried because I was like, this is so crazy. And then every night we would sing our dinner song when we gathered for dinner, and like, it was so beautiful. I think that's why I have such a deep appreciation now for my home and like to be here, because I think I finally understand what home is. I think there forever, as long as I can remember, there's been a piece of me searching for something out there. Like, I've always felt like there's just a part of my heart that's missing, like something's missing. And I was in Costa Rica and I found it, and I don't think it was there. I think it's always been in me, but like I just needed something to unlock it, and yeah, evolved did that for me. So that was mushroom day. So beautiful, so magical. Again, I don't have any other words to describe it, because it's just like, it was pure magic, truly. So yeah, that was mushroom day. And then we had just 2 days left after mushroom day. So again, like you can understand why I'm like crashing out now. But after mushroom day was rapé day. Rapé is crazy if you've never done it or heard of it. It's a sacred tobacco that's mixed with ceremonial herbs and it gets blown up your nose. Insane. I was really nervous about rapé day just because of the nose thing, and it was like a game day decision for me if I was going to do it at all. But I did it, and I'm really glad I did. I was actually last in the circle, so this is another ceremony that was all of our ceremonies were done by the best of the best, like truly. And this was another indigenous man from Costa Rica. He didn't even speak English. We had to have him translated for us, but it was beautiful, like the sacred ceremony. He like cleared our energy with the feathers and like the calls. And we all sat in a circle as we received it. So he comes and he blows it up your nose for you through this pipe. And I was the last in the circle, which was not intentional at all. So I had to watch everyone take it or pass. Some people did pass. And watch it because everybody took it differently. There are some people that took it like a champ, like it was nothing, and some people that like were literally convulsing. And I was like, and then he got to me and I was like, I'm here. Again, I invested so much to be here. Give me the rapé. So I do it, and the first one was great. Like the first dose, whatever you call it, was amazing. It feels like the feeling physically is like when you like suck up a bunch of water like up your nose and it burns and it hurts and like you want to like rip your brain out. That's what it feels like. But then after that passes, it's like this intense state of meditation. Like I don't even know how to describe it. I just felt, I don't know, like I was hearing a message over and over again of remember who you are. And I felt like the universe hugging me is just how I felt. And it was just this deep sense of meditation. And then he did round 2, asking us if we wanted another round. And so many people said yes, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna do it again. Like this first time, like, well, the second time made me yak. Which is actually a very normal experience. So if there are things that need to purge and come out, like it's so normal that happens. The first time I threw up, I think it was a mix-up because like obviously you're snorting it up your nose, it drips down your throat, and I kept like drinking my water. So at first it was just like whatever was dripping mixed with my water. And I was laying there and I was feeling fine. And then we were like closing the circle, and as I stood up, I was like, oh no. And I had to like run over to the edge of the shala, and I like actually vomited, but it felt like a good vomit. Like I don't know how to explain it. Like it felt like everything that needed to come out came out. And we had chosen like an animal intention before we went in. There was the hummingbird, the snake, and the jaguar. And the snake is what I chose, and it was all about like shedding and stepping into new transformation. And I feel like that purge was like a shed, like whatever was left that needed to come out came out. And then the rest of the night, like not the rest of the night, but for a couple hours after, I was like really feeling just weak and like nauseous and blah. But yeah, after a couple hours it passed, I ate. We did a little retreat talent show. Oh my gosh, the girls, Maddie, Chloe, Alana. So the 3 of them made this rap, like literally wrote this rap about the retreat, and like it was so fucking cool. So we did our little talent show. I got my tattoo that night from Ale. I'll show a closer picture, but I am so fucking obsessed with it. Again, my word was connection. And then when I was looking up just like different tattoo ideas, I found these hugging stars, and I thought it was like the perfect representation of connection and like of me and my sisters, my new sisters, and I love it. So that's that. And yeah, that was our rapé day. And then so sadly enough, it was the end. It was the last day. And on the last day, it was super chill. We went to a waterfall. We took the bus to this huge waterfall. It was so beautiful. A little scary. We had to like walk through like wet, slippery rocks. My flip-flop broke. We had some minor injuries. Someone lost a nail, another shoe broke, but we all made it, and it was beautiful. I jumped off the side. I have a video of it, and it's so funny because it felt like we were climbing high up, but when you watch the video, it's like It looks like we just took a few steps and jumped off, but it was so slippery and I wasn't gonna do it. And then I was like, no, I'm here. And I did the rapé yesterday and I've been so brave. I'm gonna do this. And I did it and I have the video and it's super cute. Um, and then on the last day, when we got back from the waterfall, it was just the perfect last day. We sang our dinner song all together. We thanked Brother Remy. We ended up doing a little bit more mushrooms and like we're able to connect with ourselves. The last day is when the scorpion situation happened, and again, no one was hurt. It was not a big deal, but it was just like, what the heck? All right, well, I just went to go make sure that everything was okay. I ended the video and I realized that my phone stopped recording. But luckily, it was at the very end. So let's wrap it up. What I was saying is that on the last day, I actually interviewed every single person except for two people in the retreat house, one of the sisters who wasn't up to it, and our chef who was just a little too busy. We had homemade pizzas the last night, which is so fun, but he had to like make all of the pizzas and it was like crazy for him. So that was yeah. But yeah, I went into the retreat with the intention of interviewing everyone for my docu-series that I was like just coming up with at the time, but I was feeling like a little nervous about it. I didn't want to ask people and I was just like not feeling in my power and like awkward. Um but on the last day when we got to the waterfall, like as we were sitting there was just so much coming through about where I'm going to take the flow space and how I'm going to move forward with my business. And this idea came through for this documentary, like not just interviewing everyone for the YouTube channel, but making it into a full on documentary. And I was like, yeah, like, I have to do it. I have to do it. And so when we got back to the retreat center after the waterfall, I interviewed everyone, which was just such a beautiful way to close out the retreat, like having that one on one intimate time with everyone, getting their reflections, and like even like just being able to connect with how we personally connected, how they made me feel, how I made them feel. It was really special and really magical. And then we also celebrated Sister Chloe's birthday and Sister Sarah's. We had a little cake. We'd sing again our dinner song for the last time. We sang happy birthday. And then I actually stayed up all night that night because Ale, who was staying with us to do our tattoos, was tattooing all night for Ale. And the person who got tattooed last was my Annie. So of course I stayed up with her, and Ale was the last person I interviewed as he was tattooing Annie. He was such a trooper because I'm thinking about it. He was probably like, what the hell? I've been tattooing for 80 hours. I'm tired. Now this girl wants to interview me. But he did it. And it was one of my favorite interviews from the series. It's probably the one I'm going to work on first. My phone also died during that one and cut off like the last minute. And it was like the perfect ending. Everything was leading up to that, but it's okay because the rest of the interview is beautiful and we're going to make it work. But that was Evolve. That was Evolve. And it was such, like, again, I can't just use any other word to describe it except for magical. It was magical. It was life changing. Ever since I got back home, again, I've had this deep appreciation for life, for everything that I have, my heart. Like, I can genuinely feel the energy in my heart space. Like, that's how full my heart feels. I've been having my slow mornings. I fully let go of like the need to be that gym, like go, 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 perfect matching sets, Pilates print, like that I've released. Like, I'm so happy I released that because it's something that I really struggle with is like feeling the need to be productive and like in an aesthetic way. Like I'm not that person. I love my slow mornings now. Like I dance and I stretch and I make my coffee and I write. That's something that came through so much on the retreat is that I need to write more. I've been writing. I started my Substack again. Been cooking more. Brother Remy consider me influenced. Like cooking as many meals as I can, which I don't usually cook. My husband does, so this is like really new for me. Always have fresh coffee on. Again, Brother Remy consider me influenced. Like I don't know. I've just been like really appreciating like the slow and mundane moments of life, which I have never been that person. And I feel like that's how Costa Rica changed me. And something else that was so beautiful about Costa Rica, because we got to be in like different local places, we got to connect with so many different local people. And that truly is the energy. There are a lot of people in Costa Rica that are not from Costa Rica that just like find their way there. And I feel like that's because there's just this magical
It's this magical environment where everyone is so kind, like not nice, but kind. Like they genuinely want to connect with you. They genuinely want to know about you. They genuinely root for you in your dreams, even though they don't know you. And there's this air of just appreciation for life there. And I think I took that home with me for sure. um, but yeah, my life has changed, and there are so many new things that are going to be happening in the flow space because of the things that came through on the retreat. I don't even want to tell you about them. You're going to live them in real time. It's going to be beautiful. And one thing that almost every single person I interviewed said, and the last thing that I'm going to leave you with, is that if you have the opportunity to do something like this, first of all, if it's Evolve, go. Like, just go. Just sign up, give them your money, and go. But if you have the opportunity to go on a retreat and it's calling to you, and or anything that's calling to you, because again, I didn't know what I was doing. Like, I had no idea what I was really signing up for. I had seen the videos, I could see the retreat page, I knew it was legit, but like what we were doing, I had no idea. But there was something in me that said, like, you need to do this. And the timing was perfect. It was at the end of 2025, the end of a 9 year, which was all about closing cycles, the end of my 20s. Like, I'm about to be 30 in a couple of weeks. Like, it was just so perfect. And everything about it was perfect. And I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. And I am evolving, constantly evolving. I actually made this sweatshirt long before I knew what evolve even was, like years ago, but it felt right to wear today. So I'm constantly evolving, and I am so freaking grateful for that experience. And if I could do it again and relive it again, I would, a million times. And again, if I could just bottle up that magic and have it with me all the time, I would. But I also think that part of the magic is knowing that, like, even though we left it all in Costa Rica, we got to take what we needed with us. And that's been so beautiful. And so that was my experience at Evolve, and I can't wait to share the interviews with you. Oh my God, you're gonna love them, and you'll get to see everybody else's perspective too, and how they felt on the retreat. And I can't wait to share that with you, and so much more to come. The documentary, I'll show you other things from Costa Rica. But yeah, I needed to get this video out there because so many people have been asking me about the retreat and blah, blah, blah. I can't even tell people about it unless they're ready to be sat and see the pictures, because it's too much. So I wanted to make this official video. So thank you for being here as always, and I will catch you in the flow space the next time. Love you.